Have you ever thought what makes people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and our very own Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam so extraordinary? It is not some secret formula or unique talent. It is their powerful habit of reading books. In fact, you must have heard them countless times telling us to read more books. But despite hearing this advice over and over again, why is it that most of us still find it difficult to make reading a part of our everyday life? Now, if you are here just to get the list of book recommendations, feel free to skip this part and jump to this timestamp. But if you're curious to know why most of us struggle to read books and how you can turn reading into a life-changing habit, then stay with me, because it's not about being lazy or incapable. There are three fundamental reasons behind it. First and foremost, our hectic college life. We are extremely busy in doing assignments, exams, projects, presentations, that it literally feels like there is no time left for anything else. And even when we have some free time, then there is another problem. After spending hours with our academic books, reading itself feels like a very boring activity, and we just don't want to read any more books now. Third, now let's be real. Most of our free time goes on scrolling reels on Instagram and hanging out with our friends. Basically, no time left for anything else. But here is the thing. Overcoming these challenges is easier than you think. The key is to start small. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day. One single page, one idea at a time. And believe me, once you start enjoying the process, you naturally find yourself making more time for it. And if you're someone who finds reading is a very boring activity, then trust me, you have not found your right book yet. And that is exactly why I'm recommending these 5 books to you, because they are not just any books. They are carefully chosen to give you a fresh perspective and make you fall in love with the reading. So the first book we have is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And this is not just a book, it is a step-by-step guide to becoming the best version of yourself. And trust me, it is as practical as it gets. So if you feel like your college is just passing and you are not becoming the person that you want to be, then this is something that you must read. Maybe you want to stop procrastination, quit scrolling on Instagram, or build better habits like reading books, learning new skills, and being productive all the time, then this is something that you must give a chance. Because Atomic Habits teaches you that success does not come from big changes, else it comes from small daily improvement. Just 1% better every day can make you 37 times better in a year. On the other hand, if you get 1% worse every day, it will push you closer to the zero. In fact, when we usually try to improve our habits and want to develop new ones, then we set goals like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to achieve this. But this book teaches us something deeper. Rather than saying what you want to do or what you want to achieve, you should focus on who you want to become. For example, don't just aim to read any book. Aim to become a person who loves reading. When you focus on the kind of person that you want to become, then your habits naturally align with the vision. So that is what makes this book so powerful, because it is practical, it is relatable, and packed with actionable insights. Once you read this book, you'll start seeing your habits and your life in a completely different way. Okay, now let's be honest. How many of us feel lost in college? Like very unsure about what we want to do with our lives? And that is why we have our next book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Trust me, this book is truly a cheat sheet for a life, especially for those college students who is trying to figure out the secrets of building wealth and finding happiness at the same time. Naval Ravikant, who is not just a brilliant entrepreneur and investor, but also one of the greatest philosophers of our time, has all his wisdom packed into these 200 pages. The book is divided into 2 sections. First one focuses on wealth creation, and the second section is diving into the happiness. In the first section, Naval explains how wealth is not about just money. Instead, wealth is about building assets that work for you even while you sleep. And to create those assets, he introduces powerful concepts like leverage, specific knowledge, accountability, and also explains how combining the skills that you are good at with the tools like media or code can amplify your efforts and give you incredible results with less time and energy. But I'm not going to dive deep into these concepts because this is just the beginning. The book is packed with million other ideas and lessons, and I want you to experience them for yourself. Trust me, once you read this book, you will have a different perspective about the success and happiness. So please give it a chance. So with this, now let us talk about the another major stress for college students. It is something that is so important, yet nobody had ever taught us about it in our schools. Yes, you guessed it right, managing our finances. And that is where the next book, Psychology of Money, is such a game changer. Because you might think that money is all about numbers, spreadsheets, and equations. But the truth is, we take our financial decisions on the dining table, which are influenced by our emotions like ego, pride, fear, and even our personal history. And that is what makes this book so powerful, because it teaches the human psychology behind their financial decisions. It does not throw any complex formulas or boring numbers at you. Instead, it tells stories, simple and relatable stories that teaches you how to save, how to spend, and invest wisely. One great lesson from the book that stuck with me about investing is that you don't have to be right all the time. In fact, you would not be. But when you are, that one great decision should be so impactful that it covers up for all the wrong ones. And this lesson has changed a lot about my investment journey in the stock market. Believe me, this is one of the many game-changing ideas in this book. So if you want to change your mindset about how you think about the money and make better decisions for your future, then this is something a must read for you. Now let us talk about one skill that can completely transform your college experience. It is not coding or it's not content creation. It is persuasion. This one skill can make everything else you learn in college far more effective. Believe me, in your college life, salesmanship is more important than intelligence. You need to learn how to sell your ideas, your vision, and even yourself. And that is why our next book, The Psychology of Persuasion, is a game changer. Because this is not just another book about communication. In fact, it is a step-by-step guide to mastering the art of influence. And the best part is, it is filled with practical strategies that you can start applying immediately to make people say yes to your ideas and vision. One fascinating thing that you will learn in this book is how small actions can create big changes. For example, if you simply add a reason when you ask for something, then it can significantly improve your chances of getting yes. Imagine if I told you you should read more books. Now compare this to you should read more books because all extraordinary people do. You saw how the second version grabs your attention much more than your first version because I have simply attached the reason behind my statement. So after reading this book, you will start to understand how people influence you and how you can communicate your ideas with confidence. So if you want to stand out in a group project, impress your professors, and leave a lasting impression in your interviews, then this is something that you cannot afford to miss. Okay, now tell me, how many of you love watching Shark Tank and thought of building your own startup in the college? But let's be real. Most of us struggle to think of the business idea that truly feels original. Instead, it always feels like everything has already been done and we are just copying what already exists in the market. And that is where our next book, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, comes in. A book that is not only praised by legends like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, but also written by someone who knows how to turn ideas into their empires. Peter Thiel was a co-founder at PayPal and one of the earliest investors in giant companies like Meta, SpaceX, LinkedIn, Spotify, and even India's very own OYO. And this is not just another business book. In fact, it is a roadmap to innovation. It's about learning how you can go from 0 to 1, which means creating something entirely new instead of copying what already exists in the market. You'll discover everything from finding your big and unique idea to building a monopoly business like Google that truly dominates its space. One of my personal favorite ideas from the book is how Peter Thiel challenges the way we have been told to think about the competition. From our very early school days, we have been told that competition is everything and we need to outperform everyone. But Thiel sees it differently. He believes that competition is for losers. And instead of trying to compete, we need to focus on creating something so unique that no one else can match. In a very simple words, success is not about being slightly better than others. It is about being so different that you make the competition irrelevant. Trust me, it is must read for anyone who's dreamed of making a real impact. So finally, we have 5 different books from 5 different genres, and they are not just about knowledge, they are about action. Read Atomic Habits to become the best version of yourself. Read Almanac of Naval Ravikant to bring clarity to your mind. Then learn about persuasion, learn about finance, and build something unique of yours. Believe me, it does not matter how successful or unsuccessful you are right now. What matters is whether your habits of today are putting you on the path towards success or not. So if you are serious about transforming your life, then don't just watch and forget about the video. Take the action, start reading these books today, buy the hard copies or find them online. Just don't miss out the chance to level up yourself. Believe me, your older self will be proud of you. And if you find the video engaging and useful, then hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends as well, because it's all about making your life a little extraordinary. This is Akshit Oja signing off.